cannot lose. We may be behind on the scoreboard at the end of the game. If you play like that, we cannot be defeated. And we came here to...
Keep driving! There you go! There you go!
He's heavy!
I know you said.
I'm out of strength!
Then you negotiate with your body to find more strength, but don't you give up on me, Brock. You keep going, you hear me? You keep going, you're doing good, you keep going. Do not quit on me.
Not that we are an addict on that. I think the fear that we are powerful and our best on that. It's our light, not our darkness, that our light. You're playing small, not serve the world. There was nothing enlightened about life. That other people won't feel it, we feel around you, around you. It's not just the none of us that have to we let our own light shine. The unconscious, we give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberating them all.
Hey, who'd you talk to? What's going on? It's me, Mike Leper King, Mike L. This is Legit Paranormal, brought to you by Legit Podcast.com. It is March 17th, 2024 for the math geeks. Let's do 3 times 1 is 3, 7 minus 3 is 4, and then 2 times 2 is 4. I can't do it anymore. You know what? I need a math geek to help me out. But joining me is Sarah Parah
Normal.
You're not a math geek.
I'm not. Definitely not. I was hoping like you were going to actually help me with my algebra homework.
No algebra. No.
No, well, no.
You don't know the allergy season has officially hit the New England area early. It is brutal. Like the pollen is just I sound like, you know what? I am old, but I sound old. I'm like the pollen. Like I really have a problem, dude, with the pollen. Like,
is it the pollen though, Mike?
It's too much pollen. Like it's like, you know. So all right, I realized. Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah. You know, I was gonna say, you know who else was having some pollen?
She hasn't been around. I wanted to say this. She has been around for. I wanted to give an intro. She hasn't been around for, I believe, 2 shows. It's not been more than 2 shows, right?
I think, yeah. No, not more than 2. Mm-mm.
Joining us back, though, Cyn Shrader Hill Author. What's up, Cyn?
Only 2 shows?
Wasn't it only 2? 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Like I'm in 2 of these shows.
I don't know. Maybe 1.5. Something like that.
All right.
It's weird.
I think I'm pretty
weird.
How you been?
You know, these damn allergies. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. Tired of it.
Yeah? You get them too?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we've been doing this show for like this show right here. This show right here, Legit Paranormal, has been going on for almost what? Was it 3 years? It's 3 something, like somewhere in that range, like whatever. And it's been constant, like every Sunday, and it's been these people that we've built up, that we've met, that that have gone through, right? And I realize that you guys are both from different states. She's from Rhode Island. I know about her. I don't think she knows about me. That's fine, because I think she's nervous, and I don't think she should be. I think she's a little nervous, right? But here's Debb Brown, and I'm gonna go do it this way. I'm feeling really like fun tonight, Debb. I'm in a good mood. We're gonna go about it this way. Here's my idea. Now, Debb.
Yes.
First off, let's start off with the duck sitter. Well, we got to get that out of the way. I thought you were honestly kind of cursing at somebody without, letting them get you in trouble. No, you meant a duck sitter.
Duck sitter.
Yep. Did you guys know that about her? Let's start off there. Did you know that about her?
She does have ducks. I know she's got ducks.
I
did not.
I have ducks. We have 11 of them.
Writing that down.
11 ducks. Are they in a row? Do you have your ducks in a row?
My husband does. They're my husband.
Okay.
And he's
in
a row.
As long as one person has the ducks in the row, that's all that matters.
So
No.
we had my duck sitter is going away the same week we are.
What if
so
it's
Oh.
odd?
I need a duck sitter. A couple of my neighbors did chime in, so I think we might be okay.
What if they get split apart though?
I'm sorry?
What if they get split apart, the poor ducks? Like, what if one guy's like, I can take 6, Deb, and the guy's like,
No.
Like, I'll take like 4, Deb, and then you get separation anxiety on your
No,
ducks.
they're all in my yard. They're little
All right, I'm
pens.
just saying.
Yep.
All right, Sarah, ask Deb. Here's the thing. I want to do this cold like this because I'm gonna have no. I'm not saying a word because I'm not saying a word. This is
Right.
I'm in a good mood. Sarah, ask Deb a question. Any question about what she does, where she's ever worked, anything like that. Ask a question before I even tell you anything about her. Go ahead. Any question. Go ahead. Try it.
Deb, what is your favorite part of working with the paranormal?
Oh, that's a good question.
My favorite part.
Maybe-
I think helping people. I'd say helping people. Help them understand what's going on in their home or business.
Good question. All right, Cyn.
Well, mine is similar, actually. So, what is your favorite technique? Do you prefer channeling? Do you prefer automatic writing, scrying, tarot when you're working with somebody? What's your favorite?
I do tarot. Actually, you're in my reading room right now. This is my reading room. I don't use it when I go on hauntings or investigations. I really don't take anything with me. I do have paranormal equipment. I do, but I tend not to use it. I'll just walking to a place and see what I feel and that and just take it from there. I don't really have a plan going in because I don't know what I'm going into.
So, all right. Now, Deb, here's what I know. Doing this 3 years is why I started the whole rant. The reason I said that was because within the last 6 months, the Rhode Island paranormal scene has seen more like, wow, like there's a lot going on. There's just so much going on. And it's like, it puts everybody on guard from Rhode Island, and I would be on guard. Like when people ask me questions now, I'm always like, oh man, why are they asking me this? Because it's do you understand what I'm saying? Like there's been a lot of I would say negative but positive things that have happened, but then they lost the power. So there's been some. What do you think? I'm rambling, but I want to get your opinion on that.
Yeah, rambling.
I do that a lot. I do that.
I think the way the world is today
Mhm.
affects. I think the energy that's out there, good or bad, affects.
Yep.
And I think it just trickles down. It just trickles down to us.
I
go ahead.
I got a theory, right? So you know how there's like a lot of negative comments on anything,
Yes.
right? All right. Well, here's my theory on that. If something makes me happy, I am less likely to, I'm being serious, write something down. Like I'm less likely to go, hey, really liked your article. Like, and now that's me. So take it down like many notches. And how many people would ever go, hey, like the thing, but if they don't like it at all, oh my God, they love to go, can't stand you, what you did, this is how you did it. Because that's, you know what I'm saying? It's much easier to do that.
You're putting the negative out there. See, like some people don't believe in this at all. I have 2 Facebook pages. One's friends and family, and the other is paranormal. Some people are on both, but I personally can't understand somebody that's never had a paranormal experience.
Yep, right.
I can't, just as much as they can't understand what I'm talking about. I've had paranormal experiences since I was a child in the house I grew up in. But What is that? Oh, something just flashed up here.
Yeah, I think a bunch of people saying hi.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Sit on a duck. I don't know what the hell. I don't know how it ended. I don't know how it ended with that.
Sorry,
But
I
that's
didn't know
what
what that was. But like I said, I don't
Block
know.
Island Rick.
And even I have 3 sons. 2 of them have had experiences. One, I just have to tell you because it was just on my mind today. I don't know why. My youngest is 25. When he was 3, he was in his car seat, and I was going by a cemetery. I was going to my parents' house, and he leaned over, like way over, and he's pointing on the window, and he said something about the people are dancing. You see the people? I said, what people? And he's pressing his little finger on the window. He's insisting. He said, right there. I said, what are they doing? He said, they're dancing. And my thing is, how much can they fabricate? How much can they, it's like I did a lot of cases with kids, lots of them. I remember these people had a duplex, and the people on the other side had moved out, and they decided not to rent it out anymore, that they were going to break down walls and have the whole house to themselves. Well, they had a 2-year-old daughter that would not go in one of the rooms. She would like scream, and that was her bedroom.
Oh,
That was the room they were making for her bedroom. And she would scream every time they took her near. And she said there was a man on the floor. Now that's at 2, just about talking. And she said there was a man on the floor. Come to find out, somebody OD'd in that house. So, and then I had another one that was like a 4-year-old boy. We were called because the family thought he was acting odd, and a lot of things were going like wacky around the house. So when we were sitting in the kitchen, and the mom called the little boy to the room, and he's holding his hand up like this, like a child would hold an adult's hand.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he was holding hands with Mr. Mello. So I said, okay. And he said, Mr. Mello says hi. I said, oh, okay. And I said, can I take a picture with you and Mr. Mello? He says, I have to ask him. So he's talking. He's making the motions of talking to somebody. And then I said, as a conversation went on a little bit, I says, can I take a picture of you and Mr. Mello? And he says, I have to ask him. And he did the same thing, whispering. And then he goes and he says, Mr. Mello wants to sit on the bed. So I said, okay. So the little boy sits on the bed, and he's posing with this person. He's posing. And so I took a couple of pictures, and I thanked him. And then he said, Mr. Mello has to lay down. He's dead, And my thing was, he's 4.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How much can they?
So, all right. So see what you just said. All right, Sarah.
Yes.
Now, in your brain,
Mm-hmm.
when you hear this, I think everyone would think of spirits, as in like people that passed. It's their remaining soul. But then there's also now the theory that's been coming in about how it could be if it was a alternate time.
Right.
The whole time conversations come back into play where the fact of it only going one way is impossible. So do you think of it ever as because you want to cross that with aliens, right? You think it's all one thing where it's a swing, right? The universes and the aliens?
I do. I mean, the thing that would like make this difference or like delineate it from like possibly the time crossover that we've been talking about is if there's a time crossover, I'm seeing perhaps the same place on a different timeline, but we're not interacting with each other. So in this case, little boy's interacting with Mr. Mello. He's talking to him, which makes me believe it's a conscious spirit. Like he's interacting with this gentleman's consciousness. So how does that get there? Either it's a living being or it's a past being whose soul is still there.
Thank you. I knew you the one that kicked that too. Cyn, your thoughts on that?
I agree with Sarah Parah Normal.
I love that name.
Thanks, Mike gave it to me.
Sorry, you're next on the questions, and I'm writing it down.
So I want to circle back to what we're talking about working with kids. So obviously you're very experienced. Now, we know that if we're doing investigations and it's a child that's the experiencer, like we need to be very careful. So in the interest of people that maybe not everyone should be doing it,
Mm-hmm.
how do you handle these cases with children differently, Deb?
A lot of times I've, sat on the floor with the kids and we talk to them and, just try to get a feel for what they're seeing, what they're hearing, what they're experiencing. Do they know dead from alive? Do they know what the truth and a lie is? Do they, are they watching things? You try to debunk as much as you can. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychologist like with children. So I really don't know how far their imagination can go. But in the few, like with my own children, I believe them. I believe them. I had like my oldest son, he was 3, and we lived upstairs from my grandparents. My grandmother had passed away a couple of years ago. And he used to go downstairs. My grandfather was down there, and he came up one day and he had a cookie in his hand. And I said, "Where did you get the cookie?" And he said, "From the lady downstairs." So there was no lady downstairs.
Did he have an actual cookie?
Yes.
That's weird. And I've never heard I've never
Goes to hand out cookies.
Paranormal cookies.
He had a cookie.
Paranormal cookies.
Yep, he had a cookie. I mean, they were in the house. They were like in a cabinet in the house. And, we had this whole conversation. He's saying that this lady showed him out the window, showed him cars and trucks. And I believe it was my grandmother. I do. I believe with all my heart it was my grandmother.
Can I just follow up with that real quick? Because Deb, I lived when I was the same age, my grandfather had passed, and my family says I interacted with him for a long time afterwards, doing like seemingly unexplainable things and knowing unexplainable things. I think it was probably your grandmother looking after, and still caring for, which is beautiful.
Yes.
I love that.
And that's like he said things that she would say or she would have done with him.
Mm-hmm.
And she had died about 4 years, maybe. He was 3, so it was like about 4 years. So like I said, this, I had experience as a child, and then, a couple of my children did. And then I worked on these cases. And another fascinating thing is I've done ghost tours and different things at Fort Adams in Newport. And one of the girls, she's from the Rhode Island Paranormal Research Group. She has the most phenomenal EVP from the fort of children. She has them of children, and you can hear them. There was this last episode she has taped. You can hear the little boy calling for his mother.
Oh gosh.
I have it. I don't know if I could play, if it would static or anything. I have it on tape, but he's calling for his mother. You hear him saying, "Mom, Mom." And then as it goes on, he says, "I'm over here." And you can hear it clear as a bell. And then towards the end of the recording, you can hear the mother's voice.
Oh my goodness.
And this Fort Adams has a lot of children running around, a lot of little ghost children. I don't know if you guys ever visited, but it's a interesting place. Lots of.
I know of Fort Adams. I'm in North Providence now, so yeah, and Buddy was a huge fan of Fort Adams, obviously. So I know all about it, but you guys don't know about Fort Adams.
No,
they don't. Oh, that's right.
That's why this is fun. This is my way. We're doing it backwards, but oh boy, it's going to work out. So now, wait a minute. Fort Adams. All right. You guys know about Newport, Rhode Island? Cyn, Sarah?
No,
What's special about Newport, Rhode Island?
no, I do not.
Cigarettes?
No, we don't. No, it's not the cigarettes.
Okay.
It's not the menthol. It's no.
Okay.
Deb,
Yes.
would you want to explain just a little bit of what Newport before I do? Because mine's going to be a little rougher than yours.
Mine's kind of rough too. I'm not a good explainer.
You want me to start? Well, all right. It was known for what during the was the Civil War? Am I right?
I believe so.
It's the main, like,
It's like on a peninsula, so there's
It's
like
like-
a lot of water all around it.
yeah, it was like a big port that they held down. You know what?
Yes.
I'm doing it injustice, but it was a look it up. Anyways, in Newport, Rhode Island is a place where in that area, the buildings themselves are like, they're just amazing. Like there's a certain part of Newport, Rhode Island that's just ridiculous. And it's got there's parts of Newport, Rhode Island though that are horrendous. You don't want to know about that. That's like farther down. But it does get bad, like in Newport, Rhode Island. It just does. But it's nice. Fort Adams. The thing I always had an issue with was, so I'm terrified of going there and hearing kids. That's why you see, that's why I won't. Do you know what I'm saying? That makes me nervous. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to. Because then what do you do? It's like, oh boy, I don't know. I feel like, oh, I can't help that kid. You know what I mean? As opposed to if I hear it's like a guy speaking or a woman speaking, I don't really care. I guess, like I said, I'm hypocrite.
Why help them? He's fine. He's just a little ghost boy. There's a bunch of little ghost children. They're just in their own world there. They're living just the way they did back in the day.
Do you think they're residual?
Yes.
Yeah. I was
just
going to
think
say.
they're doing their thing, and I think they don't know they're dead. And that's what I think.
So let me ask you this. So I guess every time I use the word soul, I guess we get religious. But what I'm saying is, so if that's the spirit of a child, and it's not the soul itself, but it's more of a, Sarah, what you just said, right? Isn't there a difference?
The residual. Yeah. And so like the test would be if you go there, and we can pick up EVPs from residual spirits. I've done it before, but you would only know again if you go there and you tried to have a conversation and there was interaction. If there's interaction, again, that would indicate it's a spirit who's present with consciousness, and the consciousness is the key there. Whereas as residual, they'll really have the consciousness, like they're the recording.
Okay, so Deb, back to you. Are they interactive? Responsive?
See what she did. What I'm not really good at getting EVP, but this girl in particular that got these EVP is wonderful at it. She would talk, and then she would leave the recorder there, and she put toys all around, different toys and whatever, and we walked away. And, she said, if you want to come and play with the toys, and, she has a whole spiel about it, just like you're talking to a child. And we left. And then we came back maybe a half hour, 45 minutes later. And she said, oh, shit, I think I have something on my recorder. And sure enough, she did. And that's not the first time she got kids on the recorder. She did it a couple of times. So it's for real. It's for real.
So, Cyn, over to you. My
thoughts?
Yeah. But no, your question. I'm sorry, but you were frozen.
Okay. So, switching gears just a little bit. Have you ever helped police officers, detectives, anything like that with any kind of case, whether it was an actual ongoing case or cold cases?
I never did.
Do you want to?
I could, I guess I could try. It's funny because my husband is a policeman.
Really?
So
Interesting.
And he's never gone. So Deb, what do you think about this one? Or he's never asked.
Doesn't it sound like the beginning of like a comic book or an action movie where the two of them go out and she's like, that one's bad. And he's like, that whap. And he's like, right.
a couple of times we
great
talked
idea.
about it. A couple of times, we've talked about it.
Dun, dun, dun.
And it was kind of funny one day. I mean, he's seen a lot in his day. He's really seen a lot of horrible things. And he was talking about one day, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, but there was somebody that had just died. And I don't know if it was stabbing or a gunshot or something.
Oof.
And he went over and, he was just telling me about it. And I said, did you ever consider like just holding their hand and, even though they passed, just to see if you get anything? And he just thought his peers would think he's out of his mind. Like, take his badge away. But
To hold a dead hand, you mean?
that's, it's just hard. I did though. One thing I did, he is very big into finding, what is it? The war heroes, like people who had passed, like in different, like the missing in action. And he wears a bracelet. He wears the bracelet for one of them. And I did give him some inklings on that. He was in the Vietnam War. He was in the Vietnam War. And he went missing. He was 21 years old, I believe. And I did give him a little insight, and I did help the family a little bit. Where I'm sure they'll never find his body, but I believe it's I said like a sand pit or something. But I did give them some insight, or I don't know how much can you get for a soldier that never came back, but
that's the best you could hope for.
Yeah, that's the best you could hope for. He wasn't alive.
Yeah, no, it's Sarah, you're up.
So we talk a lot on this show about animals sensing. This is going to sound like a silly question, but I'm serious. Animals sensing spirits and stuff like that. So we know dogs and cats do. The ducks do they?
I don't think so. I don't know.
No, the ducks. We don't think the ducks can see spirits.
I know.
Okay,
I know.
I had to know.
I've seen my dogs look around, especially
right. That's
like, what is she looking at? What is she looking at? But the ducks stay outside. So,
I know.
we have a whole area.
I got a theory on like the animal chain, the chain of animals and stuff like that. I would say that we as humans think we are the smartest, but in reality, it only gets more pleasant to be that step dumber. Like my dog's much happier than me, and your ducks must be just happy. If you're a duck, I guess you're just happy. I don't know. Either that or you're angry like all the cartoon ducks. The cartoon ducks are always angry. Don't know why.
True.
Don't know why they make them angry, but they're always angry. So
very happy bunch. My husband takes so good care of them.
They don't pay electric, right?
No.
Ducks don't have cable. There's nothing outside for them to watch. You pay for the food, right?
We pay for the food.
You're paying for their room and board.
We pay for their medications. My husband just took one to the vet because his foot was hurt.
Oh,
I do have to correct you, King Michael. Huey, Dewey, and Louie were happy cartoon ducks.
Yes, they were.
yes, they were.
Yeah, they were, but at the expense of others.
Yeah, it's okay.
Really nice ducks. I mean,
No,
they
were teenage boy ducks. They were
mean, kind of mean. I'm just saying.
but they were happy.
Wasn't Daisy nice?
Daisy was pretty nice too. Yeah. It's just the old male ducks, which is kind of like people, I guess.
I agree with that. I agree with that. You know that, but definitely with the ducks.
But definitely with ducks.
What?
Europe.
How do you follow that, Cyn? I don't know.
Oh gosh.
I'm saying Europe, but it sounds like Europe.
Europe. Speaking of, no, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm lost on the ducks right now, and I was thinking about the ghost chicken that we talked about the other day. So
God,
you
help us.
know, she could have one of the ducks come back.
Yeah,
She could.
we did.
Deb.
There was a chicken haunting.
Yeah.
I never heard of that one, but okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Chicken haunting.
All kinds of animal ghosts.
Sarah, I'm gonna give you a couple more chances. Let's keep going. Ask another question. Actually, wait a minute.
Another question.
Wait, Deb, you remember the TV shows, the game shows? Like, you ever watch the Game Show Network when cable was like a thing? Like, you just
What?
had cable. The Game Show Network.
Okay.
Like, you know how they would do it, like where the guest would give a bit of information so that you could provoke them to ask you a question? You're up. So just give them a little bit of information, whatever you want to say about yourself, about what you do, where you work, and just see if we'll see if they get it. We're gonna give it a shot here, me and you. So ready?
Okay. What did they get? I'm not.
Give any bit of information about you, places you've been, places you've owned, worked at, anything like that, to see if they have get more information out of you.
Okay. I sell fine jewelry. That's where I work. I've been selling it for like 30 years.
Hmm.
So if you need diamonds, let me know. Let's see what else.
No, do you have any nieces
Do I have I have nieces?
in the medium ways?
I'm sorry, any what?
Nieces.
Nieces, as a niece and nephew?
Yes.
I have 2 nieces. I have 5 grandchildren. 3 girls and 2 boys.
But you have a niece that's that's a witch in Rhode Island.
I don't. I have a granddaughter.
Is it?
I don't know if that's who you're thinking of.
You have a all right.
That she's young.
You know what? I'm so old. Whatever. Like, I'm trying to. I'm thinking next one down. So in my notes, it says niece, and this is what I wrote last time we've spoken. So I'm old. Okay, granddaughter. Can we act?
I have a granddaughter.
No,
that's
I say granddaughter. Ready?
interested in what I do. I have one granddaughter that's very, very interested. That spends a lot of time in my room, and she does the pendulum, and but she's really young. My nieces don't. My nieces don't dabble in it.
All right. So
My sister does. I have a sister that does. She's in Florida. She's one of the ones we were talking about in Florida.
all right, that's enough. Sorry, you're up.
Well, but I don't have I didn't have a question about
You have to,
any
you
of
have
those
to.
things.
No. This is live. You gotta go. Bang.
So your sister in Florida, does she do active paranormal investigating? Is she part of a team, or is it more
She's
like
not-
just an off hobby thing?
She's not part of a team. She does do a lot of I don't know how far you are from Bradenton. You said it before.
An hour.
Oh, all right. She does a lot of like psychic fairs and things like
Okay.
that. She does oracle card readings.
Oh, okay.
She's,
So what's her name in case I bump into her in the Florida paranormal scene?
her name is Maria Perillo. And I think she goes by Ria, RIA. She
Oh,
might
that's
be
cute.
watching. She might be watching tonight. I don't know if she is or not. But yeah, she's she just started to do all this stuff. She just got, her Reiki master.
Good for her.
Yeah. So she's doing well. She's trying to get out there.
Cyn?
Mike?
Yep. Question. Wow, she froze like
She's
that?
frozen. She's
Not like that.
Cyn, you
Not like
froze
that. Come on, Cyn. I'm rooting for you, Cyn. Not like that. Not like that. Come on, Cyn. Come on. It's like a horse coming around the corner. Come on, Cyn, please.
No, don't do that to Cyn. Don't.
Come
She
on,
can't.
Kryptonite. Come on, Kryptonite. All right.
What is
all right.
happening?
You
What is
froze
happening?
like your disgust face at Mike when you froze. For a while, you were frozen, just like.
I started to go into the Bronx Tale. Come on, Kryptonite. When Eddie Mush,
It was a
they used to rip up his tickets before when he. Never mind.
Well, I just lost all 4 of the screens and they came
Okay.
back. So,
Okay.
yeah, I
Mm-mm.
blame all of the cyber testing going on right now.
Mm.
All
There
right,
you
Deb. As far as when you do read cards, one-on-one to me seems, here's the thing. That's why I say I'm a hypocrite, because like I'll believe this, but I can't believe this. But if you put them side by side, I'm an idiot for saying that, because it's like the same thing. But I guess they're just what my brain allows me to think. That's why I wish I was like my dog. I could just go lay down, not have a care, fall asleep. But that doesn't happen.
Like, I feel like you probably do that a lot,
No.
just from knowing you.
I have to play like loud music or have a comedian playing to fall asleep in my head, so I don't think about what I'm thinking. Never mind me. I'm not about to lay down on the couch. So Deb, I hold more of it like a one-on-one thing. When it's to a group of people, when someone talks in front of a group of people and picks that kind of stuff up, is there a difference? Because for me, it's like when someone's doing a one-on-one, it's like that's personal. There's something about it. It almost seems contained, which in my dumb head seems more like it makes more sense. When you kind of shotgun and you got like a wicked spread on it, like it seems like it would, I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Is there a difference?
I don't do gallery. I've been asked to a number of times, but I'm really not that interested in it. I can see, only because I can see if you're in front of 20 people, people could come in. That's they could come in, but you don't know who's going to come in. You don't know who. So all of these people aren't going to get a reading. They're not going to, you might get 5 of them or so, but you're not going to get that. I do reading parties, but I do it privately. Like you set me up in a room, and I'll do like up to 10 people, and they're like 15, 20-minute readings. I do that. And a lot of times mediumship will come through. Somebody will come through, a name, a date, a place. I can't guarantee it, because that's not how it works. It's not like a telephone line, but things could come through.
So in other words, like Sarah, like what I'm saying is like, even if it's like a self-contained group, at least that group's all having the same thoughts. They all have the same sort of energy. You're more than likely to connect with someone that belongs to someone there, as opposed to you get it spread more wide open, and it's almost like in my dumb, and I speak for the dumb, DUMM. In my head, like the more people, the more you can't get that same unity type feeling. And then also, wouldn't like other spirits that are just bouncing around, residuals and stuff like that, be like, hey, what's going on?
Sure.
What's going on? Check this out. I mean, it's a room full of people. Be like, come on, must be a party. Let's get a beer coupon. So what do you think about that, Sarah?
No, I think you're right. I've personally never actually been to a gallery reading. I have done seances where it is a limited group of people, so maybe like 12, 13. And Brian, who does the seances here locally at the Phantom History House, is wonderful. He explains all of that. Not everyone might get something. And sometimes things do come through that are just there at the house. So yeah, absolutely. I'm dubious of gallery readings, I think.
Cyn, my problem with that is, right, it brings more into the conversation of having to perform. Like, paranormal should never be every time performance. You have to perform it. I don't, you see, again, this, and then my opinions, I don't think it would work that way. Like, you can't.
But that's what Deb said. She doesn't like to do those kind.
Yeah.
I'm just asking you, Cyn.
You can't guarantee it. You cannot guarantee mediumship. It's impossible, because you don't know whether that spirit is going to come in or not. So,
all right, but
when people do this, I mean, are they fishing like because you're up there and people paid you money and they're expecting you to perform? But what happens if people aren't coming through?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't want to put anybody down or whatever, but sometimes when you go to these gallery things, it's vague. It's vague. Like I went to one and the medium said something about he associated a rose with me. I mean, look at me, I'm Italian. You know what I mean? There's going to be a lot of names that, yes, they're going to be associated with me. Yes. Yeah. So,
yeah. By the way, I'm Italian.
Yeah.
100%.
Me too.
I have 3 Auntie Roses that I can
There you
remember.
go. There you
So
go.
it's like Marie, Rose.
Yeah, my mother's Marie. My sister's Marie.
Forget about it. What are you gonna do?
His
Those are names. That's easy peasy right there.
Yes.
Pull that right
Yes. So you look at somebody and you can, you know, thinking their nationality, and yes, those names are Angelo, and you know, they're in my family.
So all right. So lately, like our area got caught up. So here's how it works. You get these people that are like TikTok or YouTube sensations, and I don't know what that means because I don't ever want to be a. By the way, Sarah, write this down. I don't ever want to be a sensation.
How'd you know I was just going to put the pad down?
Oh my God, that sounds like so much work. I would never do it. Anyways,
old
here's the issue. So they get like they go to these places and they went to a lot of places locally, right? They try to go to these places and they try to record something, and now they get like 15 million viewers, literally, which I can't believe. I really can't even wrap my head around. It gets 15 million views. How the heck? Anyways, I digress. So you get people on that are supposed to be doing something, and in my head, I'm going, oh no, like you can't put them on with this like budgeted 15 million viewed, like that's a business. Sarah, 15 million views is a business. They're not there for people that if they brought you in and you don't hear anything, it's not good for them. There's a business behind it. So when there's a business that gets behind it and you have to perform for something, I don't know how you blame. I almost don't know how you blame the performer. And I don't mean performer in the sense of like a medium. I'm talking about like in that sense, you're now a performer because there's money behind it, and you don't talk like that really to people. So that's all becomes that. Deb, you know what I'm saying? Like
yes.
I want to thank for the people that did it because I feel like the situation they're in was ridiculous. Like, how do you expect someone? You put them on the spot. It's like, oh no, and then stuff happening, and then it's like things like the worst thing I heard was so I'm not naming any names, but the local mediums, and the kid was talking about how he put them in a car and drove them like about 15 minutes away and to some place they didn't know, and then started asking questions, and I'm like, you can't drive me in Rhode Island 15 minutes anywhere where I don't know where I am. And you know this. I look at like, you don't even have to tell me which direction you went. I can be like, Lincoln. We're in Lincoln. Like I would just know. And here's the worst part. If I did know, right? That's where I would, if someone's in that area, all of a sudden, they don't know where they are. They don't know where they are, but they know where they are, maybe. And they're like, I'm getting somebody that like died of like whatever. And then in the newspaper you can find out that so and so died there whenever. It's like if you had any kind of memory and remembered areas and like things that happened in those areas, you could always use those as your trigger to throw things, right?
Of course. Especially now.
Yes. Deb, is there anywhere in Rhode Island, literally, that you think your husband could take you and be like, oh, we're going someplace, don't look? Well, you wouldn't know where you were?
I would know. All right. I would know. And like you said, you can link a story, or you can link something to it.
Anywhere in Rhode Island.
If you get somebody from out of state, maybe that wasn't familiar with things, that I believe that.
But as a Rhode Islander,
no.
see, Sarah, that's what I'm saying. So do you understand a little bit more what I'm you don't do you get me?
There was just a lot of digressing. That's all I could hear. There was digress.
It's called being vague. I don't want to name the people involved.
Why? We did 2 shows about it.
All right.
You're talking about the Conjuring House. Just say it.
Not just them, but it was Cody and Satori ended up on this TikTok group's channel, and these kids have like this 15 million view channel, and they had to do a thing, and all of a sudden, bang, they're doing videos on how Cody cracks his ankle, and it's literally like it's insane. Because imagine having a video about your own ankle. I would like to have a video about my ankle, but no one would ever do it. I digress. I'm digressing again.
You can't just say I digress every time you ramble. That's not how that works.
I'm continuing. So they went up and they went against it. They said we didn't do this, and then especially people from Britain are sending me messages because we're in the middle of things, and like they're just trying to say like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? What do you know? And it's like, oh my God, you guys are like this. I don't want drama. And people in Rhode Island are dropping out because they don't want to deal with drama. They just fall out like those bugs when you hear them die in the summertime around Rhode Island. Those I don't know what they call. What are they called? The Italians had a word for them, but I don't remember the bugs in the trees that make the loud sound.
Cicadas? No.
Yeah, they're from Rhode Island. They make a loud sound.
Yeah, cicadas.
What?
The cicadas.
Yeah, but we had a different name, I think. Whatever. Anyways. That put them in a bad spot. So they kept finding out information and all this stuff. And then now all these people that here's the worst part, right? The people that are doing these other videos, have degrees, like lives, right? But they spend their time debunking stuff, which is cool. Not for me. I would never do it. But if that's what you do, that's what you do. But it just seems like not proving somebody else's stuff means you're not doing anything of your own. Really? Right? Your whole time spent going back. So I'm trying to defend both sides, but they kept giving them information every time they ask because it's in front of 15 million people. Like the pressure that must have been put on them. Are you kidding me? What do you think?
Are you talking about the Conjuring House?
Yes.
Cody
and Satori did a thing where they hear something all the time. The paranormal couple, every time they hear a letter, there's a knock. They did a zoom in on his ankle. He shows them snapping his ankle, doing that like a tension thing. And then there's and then the dad, Jason, did a video about stop talking about my daughter. And then all these people, I'm talking a million videos about he's sticking up for his daughter and all this stuff. And then the Conjuring House got brought in, talked about how it's how much money they make from it, all this stuff. Really, right? And then all of a sudden, now that the Paracon's canceled, I don't know if you noticed that.
Yes, I do know that. Yes,
it's going because
the
microscope and wolves came in, and it was like anybody that was serious. It's getting brutal. But
yes.
Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that? You didn't hear about that though, huh? Coding story.
I don't know who that. He owns does he own the Conjuring House?
Right. No, Ken owns. Ken owns. No. I'm sorry.
No.
Ken quit, but he. Anyways.
Yeah, Ken's not doing the Paracons.
Yeah, Ken's out of the Paracon, but he's almost out of everything. He's Cody and Satori are. It's Satori Hawes. It's Jason's daughter.
Okay. Oh, all right. Okay.
It's paranormal couple because we're talking TikTok here, Deb. This is that generation. If it was like me talking about my friends, it'd be like MySpace.
Yes, I'm not big on TikTok, so I don't know.
Yes, that's my point. But there's 15 million views of this and going on, and there's all these people that it became a really big deal, and a lot of heat came down. And the problem being was, who's the woman that owns it? Sarah?
Janet, somebody, I can't remember her last name right now.
So she's
it's owned by a corporation, though. It's owned by an
I
LLC.
didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. There's an LLC. There's a lot of things that got weird
Mhm.
with it, like as far as who owns it. And then, but it's the woman who, at the end of where the thing is, they say the Paragon's not going to happen anymore. They think last year's sponsor, and last year's sponsor is the woman who owns the house.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was the
really?
woman who owns the house. She was
So-
sponsoring the Paragon.
That it just got like it got beyond paranormal. It started to get like, oh no, like let's just stop all this and just figure it out. But I feel bad for them because they're in their 20s and there's 15 million people watching.
They have,
mean-
they have to do something. They have to
Yeah.
perform.
Mike, the part you left out, that Deb, like the important part of that is like for TikTokers to go and film there, and for this paranormal couple to be there with them while they're filming. It's something like $1,500 a night for content creators. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's what
That-
they charge you.
That's a lot of incentive to make something happen. Like you're on the spot there. If someone just gave you $1,500 for
Yes.
one night to make a video,
You have to make a video.
right?
So my point is, I guess, as an old guy, who are we really blaming here? Like, because like that was what my message was back to everybody that messaged me from like even overseas or I talked to, as far as like you're mad at the wrong people, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not mad at the kids for doing it because they had to. I'm mad at whoever got them in the position of doing that. You don't put, man, haven't we figured it out with the reality shows? They're already written, they're already scripted. They know where they want people to go. They're just looking for reactions. Paranormal should never be something that's like a game show where it's live.
No,
It has to
no.
happen. Anything paranormal, in my opinion, is not something, man, if you could call it on command like that, God bless you. Right? He did. But I don't think it works like that. Deb.
No,
You think?
it's true. I agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. It's true. It's very true. I don't know how I quite feel about the Conjuring House, but I just think it's like anything else. If you put a story to anything, you're going to attract and you're going to attract. And it's the energy is just going to build and build and build. And that's what I think it is.
But you understand, like there was like a group they let in, like these twins that they let in, that were like dressing like the nun and all this stuff and pranking each other and shooting like confetti spring, that whatever that stuff's called, silly string, yeah,
Silly string.
yeah. Anyways, it's like, oh no, like
Disrespectful to the spirits that are there.
In my head, anyways. Once you flood someplace so much, so many different bits of energy,
Mhm.
how do you know what you're really dealing with within that house anymore? Like I get a little confused because when you get a gift shop,
Right.
what do you? Because literally, because like say I'm somebody that's horrible energy and I just come strolling in, I might leave that in there. In my opinion, that's how my dumb head works. Deb, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I do. I knew Norma, who owned that house for 25 years.
Mhm.
And I was in there a couple of times before all this hype and whatever. And she didn't believe much happened in there. Little things. She did admit to little things. But
I read her articles.
Yes, but nothing. In fact, I went with her to the movie, to see the movie when the Conjuring movie came out. She was kind of blown away by a lot of it because, I mean, I know there's a lot of, there were a lot of fighting with the parents and all that. And I don't want to get into all that stuff, but
Rhode Island stuff.
Rhode Island stuff. I believed a lot of what Norma said. Norma pretty much, her and her partner at the time, they lived pretty much peacefully in that house.
Yep.
So
You should write that book. That's the book that no one will want to read, but they should.
Oh,
You
but
should
wait,
write on the bottom of it. You're not going to read this, but you should.
didn't Norma did a lot of the research on the property,
she did.
right?
Yes,
And
she
she
did.
wrote these articles showing that some of the things they were saying happened on the property, they couldn't even prove they happened
Yes, they
on
could
the
prove
property.
they happened. And see, another thing, and I'm sure you guys all know this, sometimes people are haunted. It's not the house or the property,
Yep.
it's people. That can happen too. So I don't know what happened with the parents. I mean, it's just all hearsay in a sense. And I'm not sure what I believe.
the establishment got mad at me for well, I mean, they sell different tents with different themes, which was like the parking lot at Disney. It got weird to me. Like you could pay
Yes.
$350 a night at this tent, and it's in like
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't.
Pine Lake. It's like
There's a
Floating in the
portal, the Bigfoot
portal
forest.
room, big forest
Oh,
room.
see that it's too
Yeah.
commercialized now.
I'm like,
It's too commercialized.
you know,
I stay low key. I
Yeah,
stay
Pet
low key.
cemetery, children's creepy children, whatever that tent was.
then they got Raggedy Ann in a box
Yes.
behind the thing. No, really, that's what that is. And she made a comment about it being Annabelle, right?
Annabelle.
And
Yeah.
they corrected me saying that that's not Annabelle.
That's not Annabelle.
It's a replica. And I'm going, all right, then why put it in a glass box where nobody can touch it? Right?
They just
Let
want
us
to
play
raise-
around with it. If it's not her,
It's not Annabelle.
hey, let me see Annabelle. Hey. You know what I mean? No?
John Zaffis had Annabelle for the longest time. I don't know if he still has her, but I'm sure she's safely in a museum.
See, Deb knows stuff, right? That Deb doesn't understand. Deb, what a expose book you could write about Rhode Island, because
Oh, I could.
it's an area where look, a lot of people who also feel like they got screwed out on the Conjuring House. That's another group. There's a whole other subgroup of people that are like that around here too. Like they'll stake claim to stuff where the Conjuring House makes so much money. It's like, and I've never seen any of the movies. That's no offense to the movies. I heard they're actually pretty good. I just don't watch horror movies because they make me too stressed. Cyn, you got one more question to ask now that you kind of know more of this information?
I like country movies. I like to unwind with them.
She's frozen again.
I thought she was just sitting like that. She's frozen again.
Nope.
I was like, that's some concentration though by Cyn. She's really listening. Cyn's listening to me tonight. Tonight's the night she's listening. Sarah,
Oh,
Is she
frozen.
back? Cyn, can you? Here she is. Cyn,
What?
you back?
I've been here the whole time. I could hear you talking the whole time, whether I'm frozen or not.
We couldn't hear you and you were frozen. Okay, now we can hear you for your question, Cyn.
Yeah, all I said was I enjoyed all the Conjuring movies. I unwind by them. That's how I get, relaxed.
I enjoyed
That
them
makes
too. I did enjoy them because I like horror flicks. I do.
Mm-hmm.
But my husband, he just handed me this note. It says the show Cops would film in the city for 6 weeks for an hour worth of entertaining value. You can't just make things happen. And that's true. That's true for the
That's
paranormal
good.
too.
so
That's very true.
from North Providence, which I am. My older brother has a friend who ended up graduated North Providence High, ended up going to Hollywood, California. We have two people from our town. One writes movies. One's in reality TV. And he was a producer on Ice Road Truckers. And every show that's considered one of those reality shows is scripted. They have episodes.
Exactly.
No, they have episodes. So basically, this is the episode, and we're going to take Sarah and throw her into this scenario and get the right clips we need to build the storyboard that we already have.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I know people that have done the shows, and they've said they ask for reaction shots first. Like, could you go, oh, it's like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, probably wouldn't be like that. Oh, that's Italian. I don't think they do Italian paranormal. They should do Italian paranormal. They would never go. We would never go. I got an older brother, right? He's not much older. He will not come near this channel. And
Really?
sports, me and him do sports podcasts all the time. He loves doing them. He won't come near the paranormal because, he does this all the time. The minute I say it, he does like this, and I go, oh, forget it. I'm like, it's not going to, I mean, come on. Sarah, last question.
I don't know. I think Paranormal Italians would actually be a great show. I think we should do it. We should all do it. We're going to be throwing salt all over our shoulders and going pit, pit, pit. Like it'd be great, right?
Talking with our hands, the whole thing.
Yeah, like Hey, guy, why you ghosted me here? Come on.
But Italians wouldn't go. They wouldn't go. Like Italians, really, they don't look. Like my older uncles, they would never go near that stuff. They didn't want to hear about it.
Other people would watch it as a comedy relief section.
Yeah, it would be funny. I think we should do a spoof.
Yeah,
it's a good idea.
Wrestling on TV is scripted. Yeah, it is.
That's true too.
That was a good one.
The point is, and I don't know, like, Deb, what you think, but as long as we say it's entertainment, paranormal entertainment, and that's made clear somewhere, what's the harm? You know, it's when we start letting the public believe that some of these demons everywhere things are true. That's harmful because, Deb, I'm sure you've gone into people's houses and they are sure they've got 6 demons. I know it's happened to Cyn. I know it's happened to me. And it's just like wiring.
Yes.
So...
Yep,
you know,
I've been to houses where I wasn't comfortable in the house and I walked right out. I was in other houses that people were a little off. You know, it's a fine line.
Right. Oh yeah, no, this. Can you check your meds? There's gonna be that conversation.
It's a fine line.
She's not talking about the spirit. You don't mean the spirits making you uncomfortable. You mean the meaties,
people,
fleshies. Yeah.
The people. Yeah. Sometimes, you know, like you're right. Did you take your meds? Did you? You know, it's out of 100 cases that I may have done, 3 of them were probably the real thing.
Thank you. See, that's how you know she's legit.
Yep.
Yes, when you can admit stuff like that. When you go into private homes, 95% of the time, it's not paranormal.
Yes. Exactly. And you can pretty much, just by talking to the people, you can pretty much figure out what it is or who it is, or, you know, but it's that small percentage when you get them, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, isn't that it almost sounds like isn't that the way it should be, or isn't the romantic way of looking at it? Like, in other words, I don't want paranormal to be something where it's like constant. Like I don't. Anybody comes up to me and they say the following: I've seen Bigfoot, aliens, ghosts, this, and they just start like naming off stuff. The more you name, the less I believe. And
Absolutely.
It's almost like when you hyphenate a name, you can only go so far before it's like Cyn Shrader Hill Author. Like, that's enough. If it was any more names, I don't know if I could say it. You know what I mean? But what do you think about the other part, about adding the paranormal stuff, Deb?
I don't I don't consider myself anything. I really don't. I do tarot cards. I've been doing them for years and years. I do hauntings. I help different groups all over New England. I've been doing that. I mean, sometimes I can walk in a house and say, no, I don't feel anything here. And that's it. I'm out. And people I worked with will tell you that. It's like, I don't want to waste my time, my energy, their time, their energy. There's nothing there. You know, it goes back to, you know, did you take your meds? Did you, you know, are they attention grabbers? But don't waste my time. So
Deb, here's what I want you to know. You were nervous before the show, but
yes.
I went through all of the past paranormal shows on one like boring Sunday. It was just like I started early and I blasted through all the shows we did, and we've done goddamn a lot of shows. Like, now that we're doing 12. What is it? 12 shows every week?
13
shows every week. So, I went back through all the paranormal shows, and I had my list of guests I wanted to have back, like ones that I enjoyed, because I had written down, and I apologize for niece. It should have been granddaughter. Okay. I had a list of things we spoke about last time. I've been using these dummy cards to backtrack this conversation. See if the ladies, which is the term we use here, I don't know if anybody gets offended by that anymore. Can I even say ladies? Like, I don't even know what to say anymore. Do you know that? You know, I don't even know what to say. By the way, we are the legit.
Don't say broads. Don't say broads.
I know that, but it's almost like I bet you there's gonna be a day where ladies is offensive. I'll bet you money.
Okay.
Like ladies, they'll be like, oh. anyways, Sarah.
How much coffee did you drink before the show?
Oh, a lot.
I can tell.
I have you have no idea. I've been dealing with allergies because we have flowers blooming and stuff like that. I don't know why. But like the allergies, like it's just getting old. Look, I'm getting old, and it's like every day I got to make sure something else doesn't go. Because I'm telling you, if I turn my head too fast, I could be out for a couple of days. It doesn't even make sense, but it does. Now, Deb, you were on my list of favorite guests.
Thank you so much.
And that's why we had you back. I wanted them to kind of get an idea of what you do in your, I don't want to call it an ideology, but what I had written down as far as where you come from and what you think. And with everything that's going on in Rhode Island with stuff, I just want to hear from someone else that I wasn't insane in saying that, like, yeah, come on, you can't. It's not the Gong Show. Like, you can't. You know, go ahead.
You're not insane. It's true. It's all true. It's all real. It's all real.
No, Rhode Island is. So here's the thing. I didn't realize Rhode Island was as cliquey as Rhode Island was when I started doing these shows. I was just doing these shows. We're doing other shows, and this is just a Sunday show. But then it was like every Sunday. Next thing you know, it's a couple of years, whatever. It got bigger, and I got to know all these different people. And it's just, I didn't realize that I offended people when I didn't even know what I was offending. And it's just like, So here's how I've handled all of Rhode Island, right? If anyone wants to deal with me, I deal with them. Fine. Like, we got Block Island Ray, we got Sarah, G, Witch MD. We got all these people we deal with. They're great, right? You're on the second time. Is it your third time? Is it the third time, Deb?
This is my second time.
All right, second time.
Somebody just said they like all my pictures behind me. Wild Bill just said that.
Yeah.
These are all ancestors behind me.
That's awesome. That would be helpful in the reading room.
Yeah, this is a whole wall. Sam.
That's beautiful.
This is a whole wall of ancestors.
I like that.
Yes, I believe they do help me. I do.
Boy,
believe they do.
There's a sign of maturity, though, a mental maturity between me and her. Behind me, I have Kobe Bryant, Lawrence Taylor, the X-Men, and a picture I drew of Beaker.
Wild Bill, you are correct. Mike has had too much coffee. I'm sorry for the probably 30 minutes of this entire hour, Deb, that Mike was just digressing. Because
I'll let you guys speak for the majority of it. I mean, you can't say anything of that, but really quick, if you're watching the show, please like and subscribe the channel. You can check us on any kind of social media at Legit Podcast, DOTCOM. .com, spell it out, please. Go to legitpodcast.com. We do the live feed of the shows there. Where is my thing? Why is that gone? Where is my?
And we're working on the website really hard, you guys. So go check it out, legitpodcast.com.
Oh.
No, not DOTCOM.com, just .com. Oh God.
I'm sorry. Really quickly, if you have time, please get an envelope and send no money to us for Dogs Without Paws. It's become something that we've neglected for far too long in this area. There's too many dogs without paws.
Mike, I did get a complaint from
I'm not done with the whole thing. Please help now.
The ugly baby
when
people.
will we stop this madness?
There's complaints coming in from the Feed the Ugly Baby people that we failed to promote their charity as much as Dogs Without Paws.
Yeah, we did a thing about we're trying to figure out the most fake charities we could have. So there's Dogs Without Paws. Obviously, that's not a charity. Man, imagine hey, raise money for dogs that don't have paws. Like, it makes no sense. And then it was Feed an Ugly Baby. Because if you think about it, right, we're saying the baby's not hungry, the baby doesn't need the food, but it's just ugly. And if we just blur any baby's face, because what's ugly? You know what I mean? That's like subjective. So, but it's funny to me. Like, you're feeding what you think's an ugly. Never mind. Anyways, Cyn, I'm sorry, Deb.
Yes.
Before I wrap it up, where can they check you out? Where can they see you? Anything like that?
I'm on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Debb DEBBP Brown. You can always friend me on Facebook. That's about it. I do private readings out of my home. I do paranormal work all over New England.
Yep. Yes, you do. Anything upcoming though? Are you going to the Gettysburg Bash?
But I am actually going to Gettysburg in August, I believe. Yes, in August I am going to Gettysburg. I love Gettysburg.
We've
We've
never
been to
been.
all-
But we've been invited.
You've never been? We go to all the Civil War battlefields. We have a motorhome and we camp and we go to all these different places. But Gettysburg is probably one of my favorite.
That sounds fun.
Gettysburg is great, and when you're at Gettysburg, you can always go to the state penitentiary. The what is it in Philadelphia?
Oh yeah.
Why can't I think of it? Easton State Penitentiary.
Ooh,
It's not. That is cool. That is cool. That's what Al Capone was there.
nice.
Yeah,
Right.
It's a cool place.
Right.
While you're there, eat at the Farnsworth House if you haven't been there
Yes,
already in
I've been there.
Gettysburg.
Yep.
I've stayed overnight there several times. I love it there.
Yes.
Good place too.
Hey,
Yeah, I like that.
I'm gonna let you guys. I'm gonna kick you guys for wrap ups. But if you've noticed, I didn't say Happy St. Patrick's Day at any point so far in this show.
Okay.
Have you noticed?
I
Why not?
forgot again. Yeah, I don't know.
Is anybody Irish in the room?
Huh.
Cyn, any Irish in you?
A little tiny bit.
No.
Not much.
That's what she said.
You just, hey, you tainted the soup. Anyways, I never celebrated St. I'm living in North Providence, and you know this. About North Providence. Or it was all back in the day, just a bunch of Italians living on top of each other. Like all my family lived in my neighborhood. Yeah, I just never celebrate. The most I would do is go to McDonald's to get the green shake. Like, that's it. And then Zapla is on St. Joseph's Day. Deb, does that make sense?
You know where I grew up, Mike? Silver Lake in Providence.
All right.
How's that?
Well, my dad's from Federal Hill.
Yeah.
My mom was from Lymansville. All the Cambios, the Sabetas, that's my family on that end.
Okay. Yep.
And
Yep.
the Gemmas from like Gem Plumbing and all those people.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
my dad's side of the family. They're all Italians.
Yeah.
It's like my mom and dad were the perfect Italian storm. Federal Hill and Lymansville. And it's like, oh no. If you know back in the days, oh boy, that was like a. And then here I am.
And here we
In
are.
North Providence. Yeah. Yep. Cyn, what would you like to say to wrap up? What are you going on?
Deb, thank you for coming. Enjoyed you.
Oh,
Would like to
thank
hear
you so
more
much.
about you. Check out my books on Amazon, please. There's 5 books on there. True ghost stories, eerie tales, all that good stuff.
Oh, great.
Been going on a few investigations, got some more lined up. So that's exciting. And you can reach me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that. And I'll be looking for you. There you go.
Boy, you slowed down. You slowed down to the point where you stopped. You like, Sarah, what'd you have to say?
Yes, thank you, Deb. I think that you were fascinating. I love your outlook on things. I'd love to get a reading. I'm actually going to be in Rhode Island this October because we're going to be doing an investigation the weekend before Halloween on Block Island.
Oh, wow, cool.
And it's going to be a public investigation, so maybe you can come check that out as
Well,
well.
cool. Okay. Maybe I will.
The details should be out. It's going to be at the Blue Door Inn. I believe we're investigating, and there's going to be discounted room rates, and those details will be coming out in a few weeks. So keep an eye out for that. I'll send it to you.
Please.
Deb, you won't be able to make it to the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash in July, but Cyn Shrader Hill, myself, and King Mike L. will. So make sure you come out and see us there. Like and subscribe to all the things. That's it.
Okay. I have nothing to say, but
I lost
thank you for
sound.
watching. Tomorrow we have what? Is it legit? And am I wrong? What's tomorrow? What are the shows tomorrow? Sarah? Is it legit? And what else? Oh, Legit Lady spilled the tea, right? She's got her headphone out. You took your headphone out after you spoke. You wrapped up like it was game time. Like you did your minutes.
And
Perfect.
wow.
Is it legit? And Legit Lady spilled the tea. So let's see if I can bring her back. Are you okay now? Can you hear us? Don't say anything. Just stay there. Just. So for Debb Brown, for Cyn Shrader Hill Author, for Sarah Parah Normal. It's me, Mike Lepre, King Mike L. This was a Legit Paranormal, brought to you by Legit Podcast.com. Thank you for watching. Don't take